My favorite things in the world: cheese and apple. It's that cheddar cheese and a beautiful sweet apple. I don't know what these are, but so good. So I'm like a little mouse post-exercise. My little rodent home, having myself a snack. I'm waiting for people to show up. Hello, Birdie Dad. Afternoon to you. I'm just saying I'm having a delicious apple and cheese snack just to keep me going. Casually, Sandra. Well, thank you for asking how my exercise was. It was horrible. I hate it. There you go. I still don't like it anymore. But I will say this. God, I love apples and cheese. I've got to a point now where I feel really horrible when I don't exercise. Although I will say, I skipped yesterday because I was feeling awful again. So maybe, I don't think I'm overdoing it. So maybe it's a little too intense, but it was 41 minutes again today. Amazing Unreal Engine stuff. I should look up who it was I was listening to because it's great. I was texting with my talented friend Aaron Rabinovich, who used to work for Red Giant, Maxon, and now I believe is with School of Motion, but who's introduced me to Winbush, who's like this great guy who does all these amazing tutorials on Unreal. Jack Jasper. It's miserable. I wouldn't do it unless you have to. And that's what I'd say. Hi, Jack. How are you, buddy? I like your shirt. Back to Jack Jasper's shirt. I should. I don't know if that's on my current shop or not. All right, sorry. I'm a little. I had to eat something because honestly, I was feeling a little faint, feeling a little under the weather. So, I've had some sugar. I had some cheese. Now I'm gonna have a drink. Oh, isn't it nice of you? Isn't it nice we just come together to have a little picnic together? Except that I get to do all the eating and the drinking. It's just started raining here. Quite cozy. I was gonna just look up and see who it was I was looking at today. Who the wonderful tutor was who I was watching. I'm watching Jim Dublas. Jim Dublas. Dublace? Jim Dublace, how about that? And I'll tell you what I've been doing. I've been working through his stuff. Last night, before I went to bed, way too late, I was playing around with a little ball maze where you create this golden ball. Well, I created a golden ball. And then the job was to come up with a little maze that you had to wind your way through. Here's the thing I'm discovering about Unreal Engine. The general idea of it, it's very easy. It just looks incredibly easy to get stuff done. The truth is, once you get under the cover, it's crazy complicated. Not in a bad way, but just in that it just does so much stuff. It's a bit like, it reminds me a little bit of Blender. Blender was the same way, where I got into Blender and it's just like, the more you got in, the more you're like, oh my God, there's so much to learn. I'm sort of realizing now when I see, one of my favorite pastimes is to go onto like these job hunting sites and look for jobs for things that I would never be able to do, but just it's kind of fun. It's equivalent to my business porn, as I call it, where I listen to these podcasts about running businesses and stuff, and all I do is sell a couple of T-shirts once in a while and get hired out to play silly people. I got by the way, I'm back on that show. I did one day. I'm back next week sometime for another day, so I'm quite excited about that. I've got sort of a kind of a recurring kind of a role, and it's a really fun one. And I absolutely love Sarah Drew, who's the lead of it. Ooh, am I allowed to say that? I didn't say anything. What are you talking about? I didn't say. I deny it all. What? I was AI. This isn't me. This is an AI representation of me. I also need to replace those electrolytes. Yeah, super hot. So it was quite toasty today. I took the dog out, so the kid didn't have to. He had his like last real last day of school today, so he's been basically off for a week because he doesn't have exams. No exams? Grade 11? No exams? Whatever. He did, however, write culminating projects. So I was thrilled to hear that he got such a great mark. He got like a high 80s on his computer science. I did not help him at all. Everyone goes, well, of course he does because he's your son. I'm like, well, he wouldn't let me anywhere near it. He did show me and let me play. But he doesn't want me looking at it because I just make suggestions for how to make it more complicated. I did suggest, it's funny, he had this huge long spaghetti code thing, which, that's how we all start, with a bunch of spaghetti code. And I'd actually said to him, look, maybe you'll save yourself some time if you just build one, like for each character thing that you're doing, because it was a Dungeons and Dragons game. What if you created like your own little function for each one? Wouldn't that make things easier? He's like, yeah, Dad, but it's, maybe just, whatever. He was nothing like that. That doesn't sound like him at all. I'm doing him a grave disservice. But anyways, basically, that was one of the points, was they said, look, you should, next time maybe tidy the code up a bit. But I totally get it. I mean, what I loved about the Dungeons and Dragons thing, and I think the thing that maybe I hope they took into consideration as well, was that coding is so rarely just coding, especially when it comes down to this kind of stuff he's interested in, like gaming. There's a creative element to it. So what I loved about the Dungeons and Dragons thing was he had to write little passages about what was going on. And I felt like that was where even though there was some cut and paste of the code, just creating this sort of spaghetti code of repeated stuff, each of that cut and paste had to be rewritten for the storyline. So I don't know, I just thought it was kind of cool, and I was very proud of him for doing it. And he's got some really good marks. I mean, surprisingly good marks, I would say. I'm the worst dad ever. I just assume the worst every time. But and then I've just been puttering around here. I'm just trying to get some space cleared because I've got so much stuff I've got to do, like build a ton of 3D printers, and I was hoping to get some kids in to help with that. I'm trying to get in touch with the new head of the community center near me, and I would very much like to get back in there and start doing some stuff with them. I'm feeling I really miss the kids part of the Tech Bandit stuff, and I'd sort of stopped doing that when I went online, and now I sort of stopped doing the online stuff. So I feel like I really need to get back to the real world, and also it's just great for me to understand what they're into and what they hate and what they like, and actually talking to the kids makes a huge difference. Winbush asked me to tell you what up. That's from Aaron. Winbush is this wonderful Unreal Engine motion design guy who I have been plowing through his tutorials, and he's just this fantastic character and just obviously a lovely guy who just loves what he's doing, and it's absolutely infectious, and he's wonderful. I cannot recommend him enough. As I say, he's available on YouTube as well, and he's also got a School of Motion thing as well, which I discovered. I didn't know this. I've been doing it on my iPad. Apparently that's not how most people do it. Most people have the tutorials running on the computer that they're doing their Unreal on. What I do is I have my Unreal tutorials on my iPad, and then I've got my chonky old PC laptop for the hard work stuff. And I just don't like to have too many things going on the same system, because just I'm not dealing with as fancy computers as some people. Anyways, Elizabeth with a Z says, communicating about your code is part of the standards. Communicating about your code is part of the standards. You mean like explaining what it does? I mean, how's the bearded dragon? I wish it was a bearded dragon. It is a gecko. It's a crested gecko, so it has those wonderful little eyelashes, and I absolutely adore it. And I had no idea that one could become so bonded to a lizard. In fact, I got to clean his cage because All right, rain coming down now. Used to replay those, yes, electrolytes indeed. How are those headaches, Mork? They're okay. I had some weird ones yesterday, and as I say, I just wasn't feeling terribly well. I hear nothing at all, said Rebel Time Lady. I'm guessing that's referring to the stuff I wasn't supposed to talk about. How's the pets doing? There's a soggy dog sitting in a puddle of mud right now outside for some unknown reason. Will you be doing Damn Dirty Abe's? Oh my God, I totally forgot about that. We should totally do that. Damn Dirty Abe's was a podcast I wanted to do, or we wanted to do, between Lance and I. Lance and I'm finding my mornings I tend to be busy. No, I just tend to be busy. Yeah, our time, like my mornings are more free, so that would be ideal to talk. But of course, Lance is in a different time zone, so a few hours behind us, and obviously is at the whims of his family on when he gets up. So he tends to be free later, and I tend to be not free at all later. So it's been a bit weird getting together. But I really must. He called the other day, and I haven't called him back. So yes, I thank you for the guilt on that. Perfect. The days of spaghetti code. Did they ever end, Mittens? It's all spaghetti code. That's all I write is spaghetti code. I'm at an ISTE right now. It's an AI and robots. International School Teacher Education. I don't know what ISTE is, but it sounds exciting. Communicating about your code is part of the standardization. Hey man, how you doing? I'm good, shaking milk. How are you doing? You still shaking? My kid was asking if you're going to do it again online, Tech Bandits. Maybe, Elizabeth. Actually, what I've been doing recently is I just felt like, maybe this is just an excuse. I did get busy, but I was just a little worried that do they need more time online right now? Like I feel like they're online, they're gaming. Maybe it makes more sense. Maybe I should do some more of them. But I just felt like thanks to the pandemic, we spent a lot of time online. I just feel like now I just wanted to get into the real world. Like I kind of want to go to, like I said, I was talking about going to this community center and maybe getting some more Tech Bandit stuff going there again, because I just feel like we should be in the real world doing this stuff. And also, Toronto is having, if you listen to the CBC, which I do every morning, begrudgingly. But it just sounds like there's a lot of problems with, especially sort of the high risk kids, of which there are more at the community center than there are in the posh schools that we get to hang out at. So I really want to do some of that. I've of course completely dropped the ball with McCordic this year. I just never got it together, but. I really want to make that a part of my schedule of the year, because those kids, I'd really like to help with those. Not even so much the kids as I just love the teachers there, what they're doing, and the kind of the difficulties they run into with the kids because they've got really, severely, everything from severely physically issues to severe processing issues. Just there's a lot of stuff going on there. They let me solder and gave me a lightsaber. Woo! I want to go to that conference. My kid was there. We go. Yes. Comment that code. Yeah, it is so true. It is something that I have learned to do. It's also something that I've learned to get ChatGPT to do as well, or Copilot, where you can just get it to explain. You just tap the comment and it'll fill it in for you and explain what the code does. And sometimes the stuff that I will actually I don't understand, so I'll get it to comment it for me, or explain it to me like I'm an 8-year-old. And even then, it's usually too complicated. But random ask question. Sweet Mittens, bring it on. How the heck do you stay organized? Currently struggling with life and being unorganized. Oh, Mittens. Oh, Mittens. I am the most disorganized man you have ever met. I beat myself up about this a lot. I was recently diagnosed with ADHD, which was no surprise to anyone except myself, and I have been really struggling with a way to combat that beyond just sort of medication. I don't like to take the medication all the time. I like to take it when I feel like I really, really need it, and rather not when I don't. It's just a silly pharmaceutical thing, which is probably silly, but so I've been struggling with that. I think the most successful approach I took to organization was what they call a bullet journal. So it was a paper journal where you just jot down stuff and you literally make your own little calendars. Like you literally draw calendars and write in the numbers and the days and then jot down what you have to do on each one. And that was the most successful thing for me. But here's the problem. I'm a freaking nerd. I don't want to be writing on paper. I think it's incredibly inefficient. Like, first off, I don't want to be cutting down trees, and more importantly, I want to be able to search this stuff. This needs to be my second freaking brain, right? So I have an iPad. Which I absolutely love. Love the iPad. It's too big. It's just too big. It's not something I can sort of throw in my pocket. I have an iPhone. I use an iPhone. The problem with all these devices are, for someone who struggles to get organized and to stay focused anyways, these are not the best devices for that. As soon as, it's like, ooh, look at that. What's that? Ooh, let me read the internet. Ooh. You guys hear that? Ooh. It's like shaking oh God, it's going to leak on me, isn't it? Oh, my poor roof. Yeah, that's a roof I've got to fix. Anyways, so yes, I would highly suggest, to you, Mittens, and anyone else for that matter, if you are not as opposed to the organic atoms of the world, and can put up with a bullet journal, get yourself a nice grid. Works pretty well, like a grid type of notepad. Decorate it, have fun with it, jot things down, throw stickers on it, put little arrows and doodle and all that kind of stuff. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. And even just talking about it makes me want to do it again. My frustration is just that I can't search it. It's easy to have with me. I've tried doing sort of like satellite, like little tiny little pocket books that I can put in and jot things down. It's just another place where to get things lost in. So what I've tried to do now is basically just use Google Calendar and put stuff in the Google Calendar to remind me. And I don't love it because I want to see. There's something about a paper journal where you can flick through the pages and look at. The more I say it, I mean, I suppose I could scan stuff and take images of it as I go, so that at least I have that to deal with. But if anyone's got any other suggestions, I've heard the Remarkable is an interesting pad to use. The gecko's name, it's so funny, we call him different things. I think he's called Casper originally. I tend to call him Lemmy because he's more lemon to me than white. Anyways, random ask question. Yes, all right, you've done that. Great. Man, I would love a lightsaber, but who has the room? I have a couple of them. I've got two up there, actually. I can't reach them right now, but I put them out of the way because I kept tripping over them. I forgot it was a gecko. Gecko. Noticed a certain corner on Kung Fu Legend. Oh, very good, Renson. Yeah, Nikki Elder. God, that was so much fun. Lance, that's my name. Lance, that's my name. All right, Shaken Milk. You've given yourself away now. You're Shaken Lance now. Messages held for review. Max Porter says, your wife is wonderful. I would like to see you both in this chat. Oh, Max. Yes, Jane is definitely the better 99.9% of this relationship. She's amazing. She's absolutely extraordinary, and she just has this amazing way with people. People just love her. So yeah, so it's great. I can be more of a jerk because she just makes up all the slack on that. So yeah, she's fantastic. Rebel Time Lady says, yes, I found out the hard way that the lightsaber doesn't fit in the suitcase. Ooh, well, it's kind of fun to walk through it. It's got to be kind of fun to walk through an airport with a lightsaber, isn't it? Rebel Time Lady says, David, do you ever get congestion in your forehead, sinuses, when you get headaches? Some of mine seem to respond to cold and sinus meds, not all though. I get tension and headaches as well. So it's raining now. It's wonderful. I love it. It feels great. If it were to get sunny now, I would get a splitting headache. Generally, that's what happens. If it clears up, I will get a headache. It seems to be the change of weather makes a difference. I do get congested sometimes, but I don't, and I have had sinus headaches before, but it's, anyways, I've got the MRI. I just haven't got a report on it yet. So this is the problem with the healthcare in Canada, is that they've struggled to keep up with all the MRIs, and they're doing MRIs all the time. They're doing MRIs basically 24/7 right now. That machine is just rocking and rolling the whole time. They have people coming in at all odd hours, anytime they possibly can, to sort of get through the amount of people who need them, because it's such a great tool. The problem is they have a huge backlog of people who can actually read those reports and make sense of it. So I actually looked at some AI that, to see if I could throw the images into the AI and get some information on that. I was a little concerned about the privacy issues, but yeah, whatever. If I'm dying, I'm dying. If I'm not, I'm not. I don't know what you'll learn from my brain scans, but we'll see. But the most important thing, I think, forget health, is I want to figure out how to turn it into a 3D model and make it the villain in a video game. Or a short film. I just think that'd be so funny to have my big squishy brain. And the other thing that's really funny is I was laughing at how crazy your eyeballs look like in it. When you look at the scan, it goes slice by slice, and the eyeballs are just like something out of like a Homer Simpson. It looks like something out of The Simpsons. All right, so I didn't mean to guilt you about DDA. I just really enjoyed it and was hoping it might come back at some point. Oh, not at all, Mandy. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's good to get. Look, I mean, this is part of the problem, that Mittens and I have with organization, is that I want to do everything, but of course, just life gets in the way, and especially with the acting stuff. Everything just gets dropped when I've got to learn a ton of lines, or I've got to do an audition, or I have to be away, So, and then of course the other thing is I try to drop everything when this family or kid related stuff whenever I can. So there's that. I will tell him you said he should go touch grass, go touch grass instead. Oh yeah, I mean that's another thing I feel guilty about. I mean I should probably get back to some tech bandits. But honestly, right now, I just feel like, I think right now I should spend some time with in the real world. I worry that I spend a lot of time online anyways, and yeah, and the same thing for the kids. So hopefully we'll see. We'll see where we go. I mean, who knows? Maybe in the winter I'll get back to it. Hey, PG, how are you, Lance? I saw Ray Walston in the Popeye movie, meaning you have a connection to Robin Williams. Just gave me an idea for streaming. 6-degree burns of David Hewlett, where the chat gives two famous. What do we got? People. Where's he gone? Where's he gone? Where's he gone? He's gone. Gives 4. What's happened? I just lost it. I lost the rest of it. Chance gives you 2 famous people. In person is definitely better for most activities. That's how humanity operated for at least 3,000 years. It's true. Gippy G. Everyone say hi to Gippy G. Everyone go follow Gippy G. I'm in Denver for the conference. The booths are ridiculous. Denver? Jesus, that's close to Lance. I heard that people with excessive functioning issues can get help from speech-language pathologists. Interesting, Sombrenas. I know you're a long way off, but is it bad? I'm really wanting a David Hewlett memoir. It would already be a roller coaster of, oh dear, a memoir. I don't know. It's hard enough for me to write in my bullet journal. I'm using Notion as my second brain now. Oh, cool. Okay. And we're liking that, Jim Evo? Using Notion as my second brain. Yeah, I looked at Notion. My problem with the tools, Jim Evo, by the way, James R. Gurney, go follow him. Fantastic guy. My problem with the tools is I spend so much time playing with the tools that I don't actually get any of the organization done. So but if you think it's a good one, I'll definitely give it a go. Because Jim the Evo gets more done than anyone I know on the planet. I mean, and I know some pretty damn high functioning, crazy, driven people. But James, I don't know how he does it. He's always up to something cool. I just love it. Cognitive behavioral therapists might help you develop some coping mechanisms to help. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the reality is one of the things that is suggested to me all the time is that I go and talk to someone about the ADHD stuff. But I just don't know how serious it is. I mean, I feel like I've dealt with it all my life, and I don't think it's worse than it was. I mean, if anything, I would say the biggest issue I have with ADHD is just the anxiety. You can work yourself up around this stuff. What is this? Who the heck with this 10-pound bacon head eating again? Yikes! Thank you. I had a Stargate day watching season 1 and 2. Oh, fantastic! Well, that's very kind of you to share that with us. Bacon head eating. God, it makes me hungry every time you post and then send me 10 pounds. Oh my God, that's crazy. But thank you. Well, enjoy your seasons 3 to whatever it is, 28 or whatever the heck it goes to. That is a lot of Stargate. Enjoy bacon. All right, what else we got here? Welcome to the Neurodivergent Club, David. I'm likely ADHD myself, but I'm diagnosed autistic. Glad you've got your diagnosis. Lots of great help. Yeah, one of the best ones, Someone Proofed, is what's it called? Oh my God. How to ADHD. Wonderful woman who runs that. It's just amazing stuff. How to ADHD on YouTube is fantastic. I think I saw you playing Stargate Network Atlantis build. Was it actually you, or have I got the Mandela effect? No, Upsilon. I played Stargate Network at, God, it was at a French convention. Was it Toulouse? Many years ago when they first started, before MGM started being jerks about it. It's just so freaking cool. It's not silly. Take as little medicine as possible. I know several people whose lives are ruined by taking the wrong pills. Diet, exercise, and a healthy social life are essential. Consistency is key. Yes, consistency is the hardest thing in my business. That's part of the issue. And also, again, I think I told you yesterday I finished a script that I've been working on. Well, not finished, but I finished the first draft of a script maybe I should say rough draft. I'm backing off. But basically, the first sort of draft that Jane might be able to look at is now available. But the problem with writing is that I just disappear. It's the only way to do it. I feel like the only way that I can do it is if I just grind away at it every day for a period of time, and then I don't. So the consistency is definitely a hard part of it, and the exercise is a big push to try to keep that in check. It also, the thing about the exercise is it just makes me happier. I find if I don't exercise, it's apparently it's a great way to kick off the black dog. as my dad used to call it. That sort of weird sense of just like, so exercise is great for that. Although I still like my rainy days. Notice you were live. Just wanted to let you know you did an awesome job on SG1 in Atlantis. Any episodes better with Rodney in it. Appreciate you. Oh, Jorgen, thank you so much. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. This, by the way, is a burn and learn. I should let everyone know this is a burn and learn. This is how I look after exercise. Horrible. Why? Because exercise is horrible. I hate it. I hate every element of it. So what I try to do is learn something while I'm doing it. And so what I've been learning recently is, well, I did 40 minutes today. So 41 minutes. Most of it forward this time. Usually I do my Mick Jagger walking backwards to get the Jagger butt. So I did a bit of that, and then started walking, doing the forward elliptical stuff, and then I cranked up the resistance a bit. So it was a bit tough, but again, doing the tutorials at the same time, I can burn through about 25 minutes without even blinking now. Like by 25 minutes, I'm engaged in what I'm listening to, and as long as I've got the right stuff. And in this case, the Unreal stuff is fantastic. What I've been doing for the most part is like watching the tutorials while I do the exercise for the burn and learn, and then I will go back and go through them with my crappy little laptop, with my little PC laptop, my chonky laptop as I call it, so that I can actually have the hands-on side as well, because there is that illusion of knowledge you get watching this stuff. So you go like, oh, I know how to do this, now I'm going to build to this, and you're like, well, you know what, let's go back, let's get that ball rolling through the maze like I did last night until I got sick. Because yes, I can even make myself sick with my own games. Although I found, again, so as I progressed, like today I learned a little trick that will take, one of the problems was that because the ball was the focus of the camera the whole time, if you hit a wall, it would suddenly zoom in on the ball and make it do that weird thing that you get sometimes in games. So by removing that now, I've got a more third-person quality to it. So I've been doing these sort of top-down games because that's not as bad for my pathetic motion sickness thing. All right, where are we at? Oh my gosh, what's going on here? There's a 5 pounds bacon head eating again. I use talking therapy every week. It helps my autistic brain. Oh, really? Talking therapy. What is talking therapy, Bacon? And Bacon, thank you so much. You can just chat. You don't have to pay for it. I appreciate it very much, but it's very kind of you. But wow, thank you. What else do we have there? I saw someone else had thrown some money in. I was lucky enough to meet Ms. Claudia Black. Oh, she's fantastic, isn't she? One of the reasons why we connected so well is because she was a neurofunky. Actually, neurofunky. I like that. Aren't we all neurofunky, really, though? Mittens, €5. Thank you. Thanks for a lifetime of entertainment and hope. Oh my gosh, Mittens, you did not have to do that, but thank you very, very much. That's very kind of you. God, this is turning into like I feel like I'm doing one of those fundraising things, like where I've got to start sort of like saying, please send your money to. Anyways, nerdy greetings, David. You look good after exercise. I'm glad you're mindful with your health. You're awesome. I suck at health, Dana. I honestly absolutely the worst at it, and I whine and complain and struggle to do it every single time. But you know what? I'm trying, and this is my reward. Like I get to chatter and be a little YouTuber after my burn learns, and I think that's sort of how I pay myself back for the time. Although the reality is I should just be thankful that I'm actually doing exercise. What the heck, people? DIY in the ghetto says, do you start the whole bio learning from your kung fu days? That's a good question. I don't think I was interested in it back then. I think back then it was all computer stuff. I mean, my mistake was I was always silicone based. Like I would definitely, my focus was always on the computer side of stuff. Soon after, right after, actually during Kung Fu: The Legend Continues, I basically quit acting. I went and did some IT work. I worked as a sort of a network engineer and did some programming and database management stuff for a company, a voicemail company before the internet, which was using a packet network, which basically used the same technology as the internet, but used it for nefarious purposes, which was actually Amway. It was an Amway voicemail system where you could send messages around the world telling people how you're going to sell all those products you've just been talked into buying. Anyways, what else we got? Burn and Learn's the best. I will definitely try this too from now on. All right, Jack Jastrow. We've convinced him to do some exercise. Although Jack is young, he'll be fitter than I will in moments. I talked to so many educators who are fighting back against nonsense, and now I'm on an advisory panel, so who knows what I will hear. Oh, God, well, let's hear all about it, Elizabeth said. Elizabeth said, try putting your camera on a spring arm. Yes, Jeff Clark, that's what I did. So I put it on a spring arm. So sorry, now we're talking Unreal Engine. So Unreal Engine, there's a thing called a spring arm, which basically is almost like a pole that sticks out of your character, and then you can attach a camera to it. Now, of course, if you like me, if you forget to change it to world view instead of character view, when you try to roll your ball, which is your character, the camera spins with it, and then you want to throw up. So once I figured that out, that was a lot better. But yes, so I added a spring arm camera onto it, and then have the spring arm on the new one that I'm supposed to do, which I guess I'll work on. No, I won't work on tonight because I got dad, and my lovely stepmom coming for dinner tonight. But the one that I'm going to do next is going to be almost like a top-down version of a little tower defense thing that they've got us making. So the spring arm will be further up and rotate it up so that it's looking more down on stuff. It's yes, absolutely so cool. So Jeff, you're doing Unreal Engine stuff as well. That's fantastic. Yeah, there's a lot of heat. It's true, not just in Germany, my friend. Well, this is the thing. So I saved this big ugly air conditioning unit from the garbage one day, and my wife was not happy. But I cleaned it out very, very well because I think she was worried about. I was worried also about like bed bugs and stuff. So cleaned the whole thing out. I literally like sprayed it with alcohol and stuff, and then it wasn't working. So the problem was just that the cord had unsoldered from the inside. So all I had to do was literally resolder the power. I thought it wasn't actually the power, but it was something just sort of power adjacent, and so I can't remember what it was now. Something to do with the power. Anyways, it might even be, was it the plug? Anyways, it's something very, very simple. Fixed it somewhat. It's still a pretty clunky AC. It's not the most efficient thing in the world, but I've just got it rigged up so it puffs out outside, and I get some cool air when I need it. Don't need it right now because it's raining and absolutely lovely out here right now. And I put a bunch of bird seed out for the birds. So I got little birds hopping by and chirping away. It's it's pretty idyllic here right now. All right, what else we got? I do hear that the talking therapy is good for it. I believe therapy can help. I know of others that use it well, and one session for me helped a bit. I just don't have time or money. Yeah, I mean, money is obviously an issue because it's very hard to get this stuff covered in Canada. And also, my issues, I generally avoid people. So the idea of paying to talk to someone just seems, although I did marriage counseling in my first marriage, and which I think was helpful in that we both decided this was a terrible thing. We should get out of it. But now what? Jeez, what the heck? $5. William, thank you. William Arenz, here is my contribution to the Hewlett-a-thon for the neurodivergent. It is like that, isn't it? I'm not going back to you're not going back to your regularly scheduled lives until whatever. William, that's very sweet of you. Thank you very much. If you need help with UE, myself and my buddy are indie devs. We are more than willing to help out. Oh, sweet. Jeff Clark, good to know. Thank you very much. What are you making, Jeff? What are you working on? What sort of indie stuff are you working on? Bacon head eating. Hello. I talk about my feelings and panic attacks, and my brain is overcharged sometimes. It's so funny. Look, that's great. I think that's fantastic. I find this therapeutic. Is that? I mean, which is probably weird and but I really do. Like I feel like this is a place where I can talk about stuff that I wouldn't talk about, or maybe I just, it's not stuff that I mean, obviously, if it's important, I talk about it with Jane, and Jane is fabulous. And even Baz sometimes too. I mean, we tend to joke around with each other a lot, but he's good to chat to as well. But there's some stuff that this is much better. This is much more therapeutic to sort of sit here and talk and see what people say, and it's just it's neat. I recommend it to everyone. Everyone should do their own Burn&Learns. There we go. But my God, panic attacks. Jesus, Baconhead. Luckily I've not. I don't think I've had a panic attack. The brain overcharge, that's an interesting one. I find the thing for me is sometimes it's just so much noise. I think it was one of the reasons why I drank when I was younger, was just that, just at the end of the day, just to stop. Like, there's just so much stuff going on that you just, that it becomes a kind of a noise. And I definitely feel that still, to this day. I think it's more exhibits as sort of an anxiety now than it did before. But But it's, again, I think it's different when you got a family. It's different when you got a dog. It's much more helpful than the dog because the dog tends to, well, my dog doesn't relax me other than forcing me to go out for long walks. And then the exercise, of course, makes a big, big difference. Because I think the other part about depression is you don't want to do anything. You don't do anything, you feel bad about yourself. It's just this sort of vicious cycle that you get into. So anyways, I started to become a fan when you started in Kung Fu. Wow. Then I learned about SGA and became a bigger fan. Oh, sweet. Yeah, why? Thank you very much. It's very sweet of you. My multiple types of anxiety are currently being worked on, but my therapist suspects I may have some form of attention deficit affliction. Really? I mean, what's funny is what they say about this ADHD, not to go too much into this because I just, I can't think of anything more boring than having to listen to, an actor who makes a living by being all over the place talking about how, he's got ADHD. But I think, what happens with ADHD is that apparently you have shorter lifespan generally because you're impulsive and you make stupid decisions. There's a lot of people will do dumb things because they, at the snap of as a snap decision rather than thinking things through the way most people would. So that was eye-opening to me. That just by doing silly things, especially as you get older, you could be more susceptible to that stuff. And then of course, youngsters as well, when it comes to sort of cars and drinks and drugs and all that kind of stuff. So, so definitely an issue there. The anxiety comes from, again, trying to do everything. Like most people can sit down and focus on one thing. When you're in the thick of it, there's just too much. You're constantly bouncing from one thing to another, or you hyper focus on something that you don't need to be doing right now. I will go in and organize freaking screws and I will go and organize odd assorted screws for like a freaking day. I actually love organizing stuff, even though I'm the most disorganized person on the planet. It's weird, wasn't it? I always thought like the best job for me would probably be just opening and categorizing Magic the Gathering cards or Pokemon cards or something like that. Like I should probably just get a job at one of those trading card stores because that's the kind of thing I freaking love organizing cards. I don't know what it is. There's a simplicity to it. There's a kind of a zen I get into on that, and I think that would like be my ideal job. Apparently, though, I was talking to the guy in Newfoundland who runs is it Sword and Steel? I think it's called. Great store out there. If you're out in St. John's, you should most definitely visit him. And he was saying that he has a really hard time keeping people because they burn out very, very after a while of organizing. They burn out. I'm like, okay, if you say so. I certainly didn't. I guess if you're doing it as a job every day, it would become a bit much. I do it for fun, so it's not quite as bad. You built a Nerf staff weapon. Sweet. Baconhead is doing some Nerf building. What else we got here? Find it crazy. I grew up watching SG1 in Atlantis with my dad. I'm 31, married, 2 kids, and 1 on the way, and 100% can't wait to get them hooked and binge all season. Sweet. Mansell 360. That's it. Bend their tiny minds to our evil will. That's right. Bring them all into the cult of SGA. And SG1, whatever. Rebel Town Lady, Bacon, do you cosplay? Interesting. Yeah, I'm a longtime dev, worked on Star Citizen now, doing our own projects. Oh, fantastic. Oh, that's very cool. What have you got anything you can share with us or that I can share or anything like that? Thank you for A Dog's Breakfast. It was a way to learn English. I must have watched it at least 50 times. Oh my God, Flying Potato. I apologize for whatever English you may have learned from that. But I'm so glad you liked it. Elizabeth said that was to Lance. It's awesome. This is my therapy, knowing I'm not alone in the silly, fractured, hyperactive mindset. David's a brilliant actor, but also an amazing person, especially to share his time with us like this. Oh my God, AP Kilby, thank you very much. The reality is, it's entirely selfish. I don't think I'd do this if I didn't want to, because I'm a jerk. Here we go, Jack. Great seeing you. Heading to bed already. Sleep well, Jack. It is a pleasure to hear from you as well. We must get together again soon. Now, who's doing this now? Parker Brown, thank you so much. Have some caffeine on me. Parker Brown just bought me a coffee. That's sweet. Thank you so much. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll have a nice bubbly for the time being. My God, I was thirsty. I'm also babbling on, aren't I? How long have I been going? Oh my God, 40 minutes. Holy crap. Okay, all right. My sisters. I think I've averted a disaster with... So there's this whole thing. I probably shouldn't go into this. Anyways, my niece's mom So my sister, one of my sisters, is just getting the runaround from government tax stuff right now, and the poor kids are getting sucked into it. And it's just oh god, I can't remember what more of a nightmare. But anyways, so I think we may have sorted that out. But I mean, part of the problem I think was I think could be helped by the fact that we will now give them a lease. We'll actually give them an official lease for them living in the basement. Because we make them pay. Oh, we make them pay. We literally make them pay $500, but for both of them to stay there. It's like my wife's like, why even bother? I was like, well, it covers it'll cover things. I think it's important to have some exchange of money when it comes to these things. And I figure, $500 for two people to live in an apartment in the basement I think it's probably fair enough. So we've got that lease. So if they have a real lease, then that will help out as well. They can actually have this as an official address and stuff. So anyways, if all us neurodivergent could get perfect individually designed assisted tech, we would advance the world. So, well, here's the thing, Sumbrennas. I think that's where AI is going to come in. I mean, I think that I'm really fascinated to see what Apple's going to do with ChatGPT on the phone, because God knows how bad Siri is. I think there's potential here. I'm very excited about some of the AI tools for helping people who can't organize themselves, like myself and Mittens, to sort stuff out, because I think there's definitely going to be ways, like the idea of like transcribing stuff and being able to go back through stuff. I mean, there's a new tool in Microsoft that I know there's been a lot of flack about, but the idea of being able to go like, hey, Microsoft, what was that website I visited like 4 days ago that had that great cappuccino cafe in wherever, and it'll go back through your history and find it. Not just your browser, but what you've done on the computer as well. So it could be in an email, it could be anything else. Of course, a privacy and cybersecurity nightmare for people, because of course if they get their hands on that, they could have everything from passwords to all sorts of intimate details about your life. But I'm boring, so I don't care. There's the advantage of that from someone who struggles with maintaining a certain amount of order in their life. I think could be kind of neat. So potentially those super tools could be AI. I think sort of assistive stuff. It's a really good point, Brennis. I doubt you pay attention to any of the streamer drama, Dr. Disrespect. Is there drama? Is there drama on Dr. Disrespect? He doesn't seem very drama to me. He's always just telling me how things work and stuff. It's kind of cool. Eliza, looking forward to seeing that. So am I, whatever it is. I'm actually a super new Stargate viewer. Started watching this year. Oh, welcome. Finished SG1 already. Now to Atlantis. Just wanted to say you are my favorite character by far. Keep on being amazing, you great person. Oh my God, T. But you've obviously got amazing taste in sci-fi actors. Thank you very much. I feel you, though. When I try to sleep, my brain just won't shut up. Yeah, I mean, look, it's one of the reasons why I would, I resort to nightcaps sometimes. Since I've lifted the ban on alcohol, I will sometimes have myself a stiff drink to help myself sleep. I don't know that it helps, to be honest. But it does sometimes help just to calm things down a bit. But again, you've got to sort of plan in advance, because I can't mix it with some of the meds I take, and whatever tonight. It's probably easier just not to. But sometimes I just feel like a nice glass of wine. We are building out a new, or you know what else I love? Cider. I love cider. It's something, I don't know what it is about it, but like not the sweet cider. I don't like it too sweet, but like a beer-like cider. You know those like ciders that are almost like a pale ale type thing? Ooh, delicious. We're building out a new IP. Currently 4 games planned, with the first 2 being short story, just to get funding for the third, and fourth where we go crazy with everything we want. Sci-fi, obviously Jeff Clark. Well, Jeff, if you need a voice or mocap or something or whatever, give me a buzz. Seriously, like I just, the gaming stuff is fascinating to me. I love it, and there's a certain cachet to being in video games. I've done people favors on films and stuff before, and if you guys are doing a fun sci-fi thing, well, let me know, because I'd love to. If it makes sense, don't change it to make it work for me. But if there is something in there, then do let me know. I can hear it. I can hear laughing from the house. I think the game must be wrapping up. Hello, Tina Newton Art. Blurty Dad says, listening to you burn and learn during my work days helps me focus. Thanks, David, for showing us a lot. I help you focus? Oh my God, that is a bad sign, Blurty Dad. But thank you, Jeff Clark. Maybe we can hire you to do. Oh, Jesus, that's so funny. So I already got. So there you go. Yes, there you go. Yeah, but Jeff, I mean, get in touch. Let me know. Let me know what you're doing. You know, if it's going to help. It's going to help make a game happen, then I'm, you know, obviously more than happy to help out if I can. Best way to get me, davidihewlett@gmail.com. Sometimes it takes forever for me to answer because there's a lot in there. But you know, maybe, I don't know, give it a nice subject that reminds me, and I'll have a look at that. That sounds exciting. I just, yeah, you know, if I've got time, I love to be a part of these things. I utilize streaming to help my ADHD, so thank you for the assist. Oh, Janelle, oh, really? You too? Really? You utilize streaming to help my ADHD? So what do? You watch it while you're doing other stuff? Oh my God, is that bacon again? Bacon? For God's sake! Would you go back to Stargate because there is new Stargate coming out? Is there? I don't know that there's a new one or not. Maybe there is. I'll be the last to know anyways. But yeah, of course. God, like, I mean, well, only if I get to play McKay. Like, I don't want to come back to something else. But McKay was like, it was like it's like that, how can that not be one of your favorite roles on the planet? I mean, I freaking loved doing it. So I loved it probably way more than people liked watching it. So yes, absolutely. And Bacon, thank you so much, but don't go nuts. I don't want you spending all your money just to ask questions. Yeah, I want to chat with you again. Big tech is still big teching. Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, autistic people have also lower life expectancy due to the effects of depression, mainly after controlling for other variable in the general population. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That does make sense. I stay up for a day at a time, and I build things. It helps, and my brain never sleeps. Oh my God, I wish I got so much done. My problem is my brain doesn't sleep, and then I slow down to nothing, but I still don't sleep. Second, heart issues for autistic people. Really? I didn't know that. Silly things, hey? Like getting electrocuted from fixing your own AC, perhaps? Yeah, silly things like, yeah, like that. Oh yeah. Jim's also got a great memory. An alarmingly good memory. All right, I should get out of here. Also, I didn't say last stream. Happy Pride, all. Have a great, lovely weekend. Oh, that's right. Some approved. It's, is it Pride weekend? We had like a Pride thing last weekend. I guess there's one again this weekend. I don't know. It's funny. My friend was going off to watch the game, the latest. I guess it was the Canada game. I can't keep track of all the damn soccer. My son's excited about them all, but I find it hard to keep track. Of course, as we've discussed. But she was going off to a bar called Peaches, just a gay bar here, to go and watch the game. I just thought that was kind of cute that was her bar of choice for watching the game. Just noticed you were streaming and wanted to say, hope you and the family are well. I'll actually be watching Stargate SG1 and 2 in 3 minutes. Yes, a McKay episode, LOL, Series 6, LOL. Damien, thank you. And yes, all good. We are all well. And enjoy the show again. Rebel Tom Lady, your sleep issue could be related to your epilepsy, something called the midnight disease. It's something I have being hypergraphic. Wow, Jesus, boy, there's all sorts of stuff going on. Just be careful with the self-diagnosis stuff. That's all I'll say. Organization is fun. Totally the same with the disorganization. Yeah, Tina Newton Art, it's so true. I do really enjoy organizing stuff. I mean, you wouldn't know it looking at this place, but you know, it's still fun to do. Mr. Hewlett, stumbled in like last time. Glad you're here. I'm still using your off-world voicemail. Seriously? Oh my God, Parker Brown, I'm so glad. Yeah. Was that the one I did recently? Like I did a special one for that. I can't remember. Was that you, Parker? Rebel Time Lady. Absolutely, which is why I love that the companion is doing at the moment. It's great stuff. Mental health is important. Yeah, no, it definitely is. Although less talk, more action on the mental health stuff, I think. Like I feel like we've talked about it a lot. Now we need to come up with some concrete solutions to how to deal with this stuff that works. Jim Evo has been thinking cardiac arrest from carrying said air conditioner. Oh, there's that too. It was heavy, Lance. It's a good point. Nat Goodwin, love these live streams. Oh, I'm happy on that. I do too. So it works. Paul Blum. Oh, by the way, I saw a video have you seen the video for the new Prusa? There's a Prusa Pro 3D printer that I am drooling over. It looks like something out of Star Trek. It's like perfect. It's this like giant canister that can print these massive pieces, and it just looks gorgeous. And it has the cool stuff that I was looking at was that it has a way of cooling specific bits. So as you're printing, it will direct airflow to just the parts that need to cool, and then leave the others to sort of to sit as usual. Just that kind of stuff. God, I love those guys, and it's just really cool to see that. I saw some, I guess, prototypes of them when I was there. I think they've invested in another design of the printer. Like, this is not like this. The stuff that I have is like bringing 3D printing to the masses, basically, as he says in this thing. But the new one is bringing 3D printing to the engineers, and I think that's really, really very, very cool. Parker Brown, thank you very much. Yes, I got to that already. My God, I'm so far behind on the chat. Holy cow. Parker Brown, you're definitely a special one. Thank you very much. David, you don't have to read my stuff to Lance. I don't have to, but I do. I tried to look for Levels trailer, but it's not yet available. Yeah, I don't think it is, Dana. In fact, I think the only trailer that's out is a sales trailer. So it's possible it might show up at some of the film festival stuff, film market stuff, but yeah, I don't think there's one out yet. Sending you an email now. Jeff, thank you, fantastic. What would McKay tell a young physics student? Iron Man Veronica, what would McKay probably tell them how great they are? Probably tell them that there's no point in them studying physics because McKay is just so much smarter than they are. I'm sure it would be not terribly useful. What would I tell a physics student? Freaking cool! How great is that? Oh my God, I wish I was doing it. Yeah, physics, man. I just think it's extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. This stuff. The stuff and then the stuff that you can get into because of physics. So, like, you study physics, you get into the math, you get into the computer science, there's so many different areas you can get into from physics. And the physicists were running the crypto stuff, they're running financial stuff. I mean, you can do the pure theoretical physics stuff, but it sets you up for just such a great success in the future, and I'm jealous because I think it's just fantastic what you can be doing with it. So that's my advice. As I say, McKay would just say, like, what? A woman trying to be a physicist? Good luck. That would be McKay. All right, just started season 5, SGA. Began this series a few months back. Got to say, McKay went from being one of my least favorite characters in the Stargate universe to being one of my top favorites. What can I say, Shelby? I grow on you like a fungus. More Stargate with both of our favorite McKays. Drag your sister in this too. It's true. Yeah, she was a good McKay. It's true. All right, I think I've said hello and thank you to everyone. McKay would tell them about leadership. It's true. And now a few words on leadership in physics. All right, everyone. I'm going to take off. I got to run through a rainstorm to get back to my little house. Not that far, but I think I'll make it. I've also got to somehow figure out how to get the dog out of its muddy puddle that it's decided to cool itself down in. So I will say, be brave, be kind, be brilliant. And until we geek again, cheerio and huzzah. Remember, cheddar cheese and sweet apples. Delicious. And now I got to go get ready to have my parents over for dinner. I wonder if I should clean the place. At least organize it a bit. My dad, talked to my dad about organization. That is a man who I think probably has had ADHD his entire life, but has nailed it by just being the most insanely organized person on the planet. Anyways, all right, huzzah, cheerio, bye. I'm out of here. See you later.